Pop Wagner's here. Well, what other song would you like to do, Pop?
Well, let's see. I started making a list. You had said you liked that Impressionist song, and a lot of people like that song. I'll sing that for you. And it's a song that came about. I'll tell you the background of where it came from. Is
Okay.
I was teaching at the Puget Sound Guitar Workshop one year, many years actually, but this particular year, the friend of mine, Jack Hansen, and I were sitting around a campfire late at night because we stayed up pretty late a lot of times, and it was during the meteor shower, and we were gazing up. We'd played some Cajun music around the campfire, and then we were gazing up into the stars, and then after a long silence, Jack Hansen said, "Pop, don't you think it's a high time somebody wrote a Cajun song about French Impressionist painters?" And I said, "Sure." And no one else was just jumping on it, so we did it. And this is it, the Impressionist two-step. Need the capo for this one, I guess. Yes. Monet and Manet were strolling down the Champs-Élysées, picking out pastels and other kinds of paint. Monsieur Ed, he said to Monsieur Claude, "I got some rouge and it's really odd, and some indigo from Cairo, but I bet that you ain't." They continued this intellectual discussion over cafe latte and an English muffin when Andre Darren joined them in their talking beverage, you see. Andre was on his way to London, so Monet winked and he told him, "If you get to Charing Cross, man, paint one of the bridge for me." Monet concerned himself with atmosphere and light. He worked on lots of canvases at the same time, and as it got darker, he just painted on down the line. Manet did some stuff that's really out of sight. Some other guys in that league were Rodin, Cézanne, Lautrec, and don't forget Paul Gauguin. Now Vinnie Van Gogh was way ahead and far above. He had an eye for perspective and an ear for love. Camille Pissarro, he was older than the rest of the bunch. He was scoping out a brand new style, he was missing the point. So every once in a while, he'd go on up to Martin March and talk it over with the others over lunch. Monet concerned himself with atmosphere and light. He worked on lots of canvases at the same time, and as it got darker, he just painted on down the line. Manet, he did some stuff that's really out of sight. Some other guys in that league were Rodin, Cézanne, Lautrec, and don't forget Paul Gauguin. Oh, don't forget Paul Gauguin.
Pop Wagner here in the WLRN studio. You had to do research for that song.
I did, as a matter of fact, and the chorus, I got the idea from the chorus from a reference book that was in the Tate Gallery in London, England, and where they got some of Monet's water lilies. Then I don't mean actually the lilies themselves.
The painting.
The paintings,
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they got in the gallery, and this reference book was out there so you could look at what was going on in Monet's life.
Oh, cool, sure.
During the time he painted these masterpieces, and in the reference it said, "Monet concerned himself with atmosphere and light, often working on several canvases at the same time, switching from one to the other as the light conditions changed." And so I just paraphrased it a little,
That's
and
it.
there's the chorus.
That's great.
Yeah.
What's unusual about